Welcome to Beyond the Code, the podcast where industry experts and brilliant legal minds discuss the impact of new emerging technologies. I'm your host, Yitzi Hammer, a lawyer and tech enthusiast. Join us as we explore the legal, regulatory, and ethical issues surrounding AI, blockchain, and more. Get ready to go beyond the code and stay ahead of the game. Zada, welcome to the podcast. It's a great honor to have you on.
Hey, thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here.
We're just going to have a chill, free flowing conversation. You and I have known each other for some time now, but I thought this would be a good opportunity for some of our listeners to get to know you and your background. You have a really incredible story. I thought we could just start with you introducing yourself. Tell us who you are, where you came from, and where you're going.
Wow. I'm coming from a Kfar village. It's used to be a small village in the north, and I grown up for a businessman father and a mother who worked at home basically and in raising us. And then until I went to the talented and gifted school, then I started to think of being a medicine doctor, and my parents started to see me as a future medicine doctor of the family. But I ended up breaking their dreams down and just saying I don't want to be a doctor anymore, but I don't know what I want to be. So it was the most difficult moment between me and them. But eventually, I ended up studying industrial engineering at Israeli College of Engineering in Jerusalem, and there where I felt in love with Jerusalem since I was a child. I was going to Al Aqsa in the Friday buses, and it was like the playground for me there, and always felt in love with Jerusalem. So that's why I chose to go to Jerusalem in the first place to study there. And for the second reason, it's like different than any other city in the whole country. So yeah, and then I moved to entrepreneurship where I found myself there.
Okay, you made it sound like really, really easy. Yeah, I grew up in Kfar Yassif and then I became an entrepreneur. But I feel like it might have been a bit more challenging than that. So backtrack a little bit. Tell me what was it like growing up in Kfar Yassif? Where did you get that like spark of entrepreneurship? Where did you get the I guess the correct word is like chutzpah to stand up against your parents and say, no, I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah, wow. So I never realized what is entrepreneurship is until my first year at college. When I was a child, I was used to take obstacles and try to be the hero to solve it. So it's kind of a tipus. um, like the now, like when I take it backwards, I see it as an entrepreneurship. Everything that I used to do as a child, and when I grown up, and I felt the entrepreneurship in my blood. But basically, I can take my journey back to the talented and gifted school, where we had a part
Which
of
is what's
it's
what?
in Tamra.
Mm-hmm,
It's for a student after like you do some exams when you are in a fourth grade, and
mm-hmm.
then like they select the
Is that like mechunachim?
yeah.
Okay,
um
mechunanim. Yeah,
مخننين, yeah,
mechunanim.
مخننين, exactly. موهوبين in Arabic. So I always missed the موهوبات, like مخننين بمخننات.
Uh-huh.
There was always like مخننين. So yeah, there we had the we can choose which field we want to take expertise in, like each semester.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always choosing the entrepreneurship, but I didn't know that this word is entrepreneurship that I'm doing today. It was a huge gap. And there I was always like getting the first place in many things and above like all grades and ages. And it was like the game for me. It's just a game. I love it. I do it the best way I can. I have some kind of love of just playing, like even sports and everything. So this is where I think it started to be more as a skill,
Mhm.
not only as a talent, but also as a skill, raising it and growing it. And I didn't know that I'm entrepreneur until I got to college, where I actually started to hear the word startup, which I didn't know what is it. So I went to Google. We didn't have ChatGPT, no Bard, nothing. So just Google and trying to read some articles, knowing what is startup is. And to be honest, I didn't realize a word. Like I didn't know. Like it's a company, it's a business. What is it exactly? I still don't understand the structure until I chose to go and jump in this ocean and started my journey in so many programs about entrepreneurship.
And so then what was your first venture?
Yeah. So my very first venture, if I want to call it as a venture, actually, it's I started in my third year at college, some kind of startup that brings women speakers to one platform, like some kind of a LinkedIn,
Mhm.
but for women experts in so many fields and designated for the media channels, news channels, and for conferences when they search. For speakers, usually we see less women, so it's because, oh, we didn't find a woman to agree to speak. But if you have one platform, this is what I thought. So it will make it easier, like an easy access for women to so many opportunities. But then I have some difficulties with someone that I interviewed that they wanted some equity, and I just felt okay. I'm still a child. Okay, thank you. Take the idea. You can move forward with it. I'm fine. I can find something else. And then when I went to 50-50 startups, where me, Dana Salah, and Tami Banai established an initiative on AI in education, like educating AI by gaming. And we finished the program with the excellence, and we were supposed to go to a Northeastern University in Boston. And it ended up that we lost Dana in a car accident. It was a tragedy and a shock for everyone who ever knew Dana. And it was an initiative that actually started from values that we wanted to do something as Palestinian from West Bank, Palestinian Israeli from Israel, Jewish Israeli, and we started like from there we started, and from there we brought up the idea of educating by gaming, like educating AI by gaming.
Like
And
gamifying education.
yeah,
Wait, I'm just backtracking one second. So you and two other friends, Dana and who else?
Tami Banai.
And Tami, um, came all the three of you as a group to 50-50 startups with the idea of starting an AI edutech product. And while you guys are running through the accelerator and building on this product, Dana has an unfortunate car accident.
Yeah,
Correct.
after right after we finished, and we were supposed to go to Boston as
So
a like
you were all going to go as like a cohort representing your product to Northwestern,
yeah.
and then Dana had an unfortunate accident. And so then what did you and Tammy decide to do?
So for Tommy, it was very difficult. Also, the idea that we lost Dana this in a sudden, and it was tough for both of us to know what we wanted to do.
Hmm.
And when I approached our mentor back then, Shirley Shachar, so um, she started to talk with us, me and Tammy, like. If we are really ready to do something together, like after this tragedy. And back then I remember that Tammy, like she was not very um, like she wasn't in a place where she wanted to decide now after this tragedy what she wants to do, and she felt like maybe she's in another direction right now. And that's how I started with Shirley, like to build something for Dana's memory. And it was a blessing from her father, like he came up with the thought of building some kind of a fund for women like Dana, who supported peace and supported education and women empowerment and technology. And he said, maybe out of the insurance, we can create a fund, and then we can invest in this woman like Dana, who wanted also to have a higher education. She was a electrical engineer, but also she applied to some university in Denmark, and she got accepted after she was passed away. So yeah, I told Shirley about that, and then Shirley said, "Okay, so let's do it. Let's do something." And she brought up the idea of desert tech because this is what her expertise coming from. And then we call it Dana, also based on Desert Alliance New Era Accelerator. So it was so good fit, and the name Dana was a pearl that is very known in the GCC Gulf countries and the ocean there, the sea. So what happened is actually Dana was a blessed name from Dana's father, and this is how we ran to do a venture builder for women-led startups in desert technologies, which is agri-tech, food tech, renewable energy, and sustainability focused technologies. And the women who came to Dana, it doesn't matter their background. What matters what they are doing, and if it's for MENA markets, because this is what our focus on. So
So so
yeah,
you,
we
so
just ran
you
with
took
it.
so you took the some of the money from the insurance, and you took the blessing that you got from Dana's father, and you
Not exactly. The
no.
insurance until today, it's West Bank, sadly. So he didn't see anything of
So,
that money, but his intention was to put that money actually in a fund.
mhm.
But actually, me, Katie, also the other co-founder, Katie Vaxberger and Shirley, we ran for a long wave of fundraising.
So you guys went out, you fundraised in memory in Dana's memory, and you started this desert accelerator for women-led startups, building in agritech and other desert-related technologies. Um, and how much did you guys raise for your fund?
Yeah, we started with a thought of a fund of $40 million.
Hmm.
But to be honest, you start something in the startup world, but you end up sometimes doing something else that is
Uh-huh.
connected somehow. So we ended up building a venture builder, which is not a fund, but we facilitate funding by our
Hmm.
investor partners. So we were in a $1 million funding round, which was like enough for us until we get our break even and be sustainable ourselves, because our business model was focused also on the short term of revenue and the long term, which is out of startups equities. um, yeah, so this is our funding round was about. And after that we thought that we can build a Dana Holdco, which will be the fund that will pay a management fee for Dana Venture Builder and also invest in the best startups coming out of Dana, but not only.
So you did that for a couple years, and you guys invested in some very promising companies in the MENA region. And then you decide that you want to do something else, kind of something that's totally yours, and you left Dana, and since then you've been advising and consulting other companies in this space. Now, again, I want to just backtrack for a minute. What was it like growing up in Kfar Yassif? What was it like going to the gifted and talented school? The gifted school must have been like a big change from whatever you experienced in Kfar Yassif. Like what like, I don't know, what was that like? Like you must have gone through several stages in your life where you were like, whoa, like um, you were Forbes, one of Forbes 30 under 30 2 years ago. Like, like that must have been like an eye opener. Like you must have had a little bit of an imposter syndrome there. Like, whoa, like how did I get here? You lived in Dubai for a few years. Like Dubai, I haven't been yet. I'm going in a couple weeks for my first time, but from what I've seen and what I've heard, it's unreal. It's like it's a different
Yeah,
universe. Like, what was that
exactly.
like? Like tell me a little bit about um the various cycles that you've gone through in life, and how that's felt for you, and what's it like also having so many things staked against you, like being a woman in tech, being a Muslim in tech, being all these like different um all these things that set you aside from other people, and your ability to have overcome them and to have been at the forefront of the Israeli startup ecosystem is incredible. What was that like?
Wow. It's so many things, but they are all connected. But yeah, when you asked in the first place about the childhood, so I must admit it, it's a just crazy childhood that I will never regret it, and I always want to go back there. um, Kfar Safe, it was a very safe place when I was child. It was like it sounds crazy now to say that out loud, but I was going back home, going away from home. Like it's just like all the Kfar is my home, and it wasn't with a like a kid that my mother was so scared of me. No, it was a like I felt the freedom, which is very important for me to feel my freedom, part of my
Hmm.
personality. And what happened is when I was accepted to the talented and gifted school, actually in the beginning the exams I didn't know even what that mean, this exam. It just was for me a game, like another game. Okay, let's do it. And when I was accepted and my parents got the acceptance letter, it was so crazy how they took it so the whole new level. Like my father told me, tell me now, what do you want? I told him I want a pool in the backyard. So he actually
You built a
paid.
pool?
Yeah, it was a small one, like for my size, but he just built a pool. If this,
Why? Because he was so proud of you that you were like
yeah,
in the gifted school.
yeah, it was so crazy. Like it was a huge celebration for them, and it was so big deal for them that I didn't realize what is that, but I just enjoying having a pool. And going to the talented and gifted school was so amazing for me because the school was boring. It was so boring for me, especially like in the grade. I remember myself when I started to feel so bored there. It was maybe in the fifth grade, and I lost it. Like the talented and gifted school gave me this feeling of belonging to where
Hmm.
I'm going to learn at, but also knowing so many different sectors which the normal school doesn't give you, which is in a very diverse field. So what happened is that from the talented and gifted school, where things were very powerful for the know-how, there also I had the chance to think big, let's say, where
Hmm.
I could see the world in a different way. And also growing up for a father who is a businessman, he didn't finish his eighth grade, but he's a super powerful businessman. He's so smart. And my mother, she's so strategic thinker. So this mixture, I think, made something in my personality that I want to do something big, like taking the talent from my father of like being so successful in what he's doing, and taking from my mother her very smartness and like thinking big. She's a woman who thinks big, even though she never went to university or finished high school. But she gave me this power of thinking big and always like giving me, pushing me forward to be something in this world. And this is like the idea or the notion that I'm going always with, that I'm coming to this world to put my print, create a change. And I don't know how, I don't have the answer exactly how, but I know that as long as I'm doing, this is the answer of the how. It's another like a bite of the how that I'm looking for.
But it's interesting. Like you told me that your mother wasn't allowed to work when she got married. She was very young, and
Yeah.
it wasn't something that people did where she came from. But then your parents are also super supportive of you going out and making your own career. Like what was it? Was it a shift in the mentality, or was it like how are they able to make that change, or did it not come from them?
Yeah. So I always take this as, sometimes we look at our parents as parents only, but I looked at my parents like they are my superheroes from their constant process. Like, and I was feeling the freedom to say what is missing for me if it's books. So my mom was going to a book, exhibition, and putting all her annual, monthly, this from the for the children, the money they give. So she was taking all this amount and going buy for me books and buy for me like encyclopedias, and I was reading this. So I think there was something of, it's not only about awareness, it's about showing them that you need something, because in the end they are your parents. They want to give you whatever it's good for you. And if you show them, it's about education, it's about knowing more, it's about growing and doing things in the world and making them feel proud. So was like the secret sauce. Let them feel they are proud and I'm getting what I want, which is doing what I love.
That's amazing. So that's a recipe for success.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to show what you are into to. You need to show what your interests are for the most people that are important for you, because they are the secret of your success. I can admit being around people who are supportive made me who I am today, and giving me the space for my talent or my skills or my passion. This is what brings me to execute the dreams I'm dreaming about.
And then so Dana and Tammy, you grew up with them, or you met them in university? Like where did that whole thing
Yeah.
materialize?
So I used to work in the World Economic Forum, and I also worked at the Knesset.
Okay.
So I knew Dana from the World Economic Forum from so many programs that I was like on charge between Israel and Palestine and facilitating high tech employment. And there's where I met Dana. And Tammy, she was actually the staff manager at the Knesset, where she was like my boss, and we had a very good connection, and also we became friends. This is from where we met each other. So when I got to know about 50-50, I just tried to call anyone that I know who might be interested, and this woman jumped on the opportunity.
Ah, okay. So it's just like they were around.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then how did the whole Forbes 30 under 30 thing come materialize?
Yeah. Wow. To be honest, it's a crazy story, okay? But I promise you, it's 100% real.
Real?
Yeah, this. Some people may call it silly videos of like, if you think it, you become it. If you write it, the universe will take you there. So it sounds like crazy, but I'm a believer. Like, I believe in God, and I believe in this force, this power, and I was dreaming of this, man. Like, I was dreaming of, yeah, another like something that I can make my parents proud. It's the best gift for me. It wasn't about me being 30 under 30. It's about my parents taking this to a whole new level for their pride. So it came up that each year in my birthday I go to the sea, because I have a lot of passion to the sea, and I'm just a sea person. So I go there and write me some kind of things, thoughts, pray for some things for myself and my family and people that I love, and just go home. This is how I love to celebrate my birthday. So
Okay. By
one,
yourself?
yeah, yeah, by myself. It's me and the sea. And actually, I wrote there that I want to be a 40 under 40, 30 under 30, whatever. Like I wrote that down, the 30 under 30 and 40 under 40. And in the next year, they called me. They want to nominate me for this. So it was so crazy. But on the other hand, I was working so hard to achieve it. So it's some kind of combination. When you write it, you start to think that it should become a reality, and
Wow.
you work for it.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna as soon as we finish this call, I'm gonna start writing down some of the things that I want to achieve, and hopefully,
Yeah. No, not
may,
hopefully. You need to work hard for
yeah.
it and
Oh, yeah. I
hopefully.
guess so. I go to the sea. I write down like my top 10 list, and then I'll work to get there. No, really, really, it's really, really amazing what you've accomplished in such a short time, and it's really, really been an absolute pleasure working with you on in Dana and future holders and whatever else comes in the future. I feel very fortunate to have had and continue to have the opportunity to work with you. So thank you.
Yitzi, thank you because you were there all along the way and being around future holders, helping us, and supporting the cause, which is the most powerful thing to be aligned on the cause. And it's a great pleasure having the chance to meet you and then working with you and then just having you as a friend in my life. It's a blessing. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm blushing right now. Um, I'm curious to know what the future holds for you. Like what's your next big thing? What are you working on now?
Well, what the future holds for me. So currently, I have also future holders, which I established together with other two partners. It's a social enterprise that it's all about, again, like my passion in life, women in technology, which is educating young females, Arabs, and Jews, and from around the world about AI for good. Like we came back somehow to the point where me, Dan, and Tami were doing some kind of AI for good. And they could learn about the climate change, climate action. So this is part of what my future hold is holding for me and my actually present. And for the future, I'm really going forward with who I am, with where is my passion of really working with startups, with promising companies and entrepreneurs to make their dreams as well become true, while I can facilitate the MENA region access and the other regions of my network that I really worked hard on in the last 5 years, I can say. So now I'm in my 30, just it's my first year in my 30s. And I feel like it's the new level, the new game. Like I'm in a new whole level where I really want to create true change in the region and how startups work here.
How are you gonna do that?
It's a huge question. Yeah, I think basically it's two very important elements, which is the talent axis and the funding axis. Like it's going to be something that connects to these two pillars together.
Okay, so your next fund is gonna focus on changing the world and still women led startups.
It will be gender focused. Like yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and woman led. It will be a woman led, but it's not like only women. I believe in inclusion and diversity, so it should include diversity. This is the focus.
Okay. I appreciate you speaking to me, even though I'm not a female. um, okay, that's great. I think last question. Our region is not in the best place right now. We're fighting internally with one another and with our neighbors, and just doesn't feel that there's a lot of hope or optimism for the future, at least in the immediate future. What are your kind of like takeaways as to like how we could be better neighbors, friends, just like what are your hopes for the future? if that's not too broad.
It is broad, but we
We,
can
we've
put
we've
the
talked about this a little bit, and I feel that you have some very important insights that I think would be helpful to share.
yeah, like all the time. I believe like in a times of crisis, the amount of your ability to change as an individual increases, because the ability of the collective of like the leaders or the government, it's not doing well, and that's why we are in a crisis. And this is where our ability to change as individuals becomes even more powerful, which is the best advice in these times in the region. Just each one of us really want to live another or a different present and future. We need to take the lead as individuals. And if I'm Arab, Muslim, if I'm Jewish, if I'm Arab Christian or Druzi, it's each one of us responsibility to take the lead and to make the other side or the other person understand that these agreements, they are not walls between us to be together or to live together or to go to partnership and to build another a reality that can make a huge change for the other generations, but also can affect the leaders who are not really taking responsibility right now in a good way about our region. So I think these connections, like Zada knows someone from Syria or from Lebanon or from, I don't know, like a UAE, Saudi, Morocco, and then getting to know these people, to Jewish people in Israel, and then like when you connect these people together, it's like connecting the dots, and each one of us has the responsibility to make the change, or not the change, make the reality look better, that it's okay to be different and it's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to fight for that.
Yeah, I very much resonate with those feelings. I think most change needs to come from the bottom up. Grassroots movements, just starting having conversations one with the other. I know Future Holders set that as one of its fundamentals, and for the most part, it's worked when it's worked.
Yeah.
We need to encourage more ventures like that.
Wow, absolutely. It's needed. It's very powerful because you can see how much the impact is doing on the ground, and it makes you believe, yeah, we should put more efforts to make such organizations and such movements succeed and empowering them as you are doing now with the future holders. Like it's an individual responsibility on each one of us to see how and where we can create a change and support towards a positive change.
Just for people listening who don't know what Future Holders is, it's a venture for high school girls in both Arab and Jewish schools to work on collaborative entrepreneurship ventures towards building a better tomorrow.
Exactly, focusing on sustainability, climate technology, and it's connected also to the region if already we are talking. So it's very important to start from early, even not early childhood, but
Yeah,
early teenagering,
to
where you're,
instill
yeah,
entrepreneurship at a young age, to
exactly.
instill entrepreneurship ideals at a young age.
Exactly, and living it as inclusive and diverse entrepreneurship makes it even better.
Zada, what else would you like to share with our audience? Um,
So actually, I would love for each one of us who's listening now, just remember we always have hope, but hope enough isn't working. We need to do and we need to execute hope in our behaviors and our connections. So I'm calling for anyone here is listening, entrepreneur, investors, anyone who is believing in change this region by business and shared values. So I'm happy to connect. I'm happy to speak, and even just to pick up uh, my mind. I'm very open to listen to other thoughts about how we can generate a new region and a new horizon for us in business as well.
Thanks, Zada. This has been great. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Code. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, share with your friends, and to tune in again next week for more fun and insightful conversation.